Okay, we're back with another Q&A series, episode 3. So I've done episode 1 and 2 where people have been asking me about relationships, education, business. If you haven't watched those 2 videos, I highly recommend you go and watch it because there's a lot of valuable golden gems that I share in the questions that you guys have asked me. If you have any other questions that you want to know the answers to, just put it down in the comments and I will answer them and make a video on this, because this is going to be, well, I'm trying to make this a weekly series video to help you out in your journey of life. So let's get straight to the first question. Great video, man. I understand it a lot. My question would be, how do you become 1% better every day without getting distracted? Hope this makes sense. Okay, so you asked 2 questions in this. I'll answer the first bit, which is the 1%, and move to the next bit, which is the distraction. The very simple answer to your question is this. If you want to become 1% better, you have to do 1% more than what you did yesterday and the week before. It's very simple. But what I would tell you to do or suggest you to do is don't look at it as, oh, I need to become 1% better every day. One day is not enough for you to track your progress. Do it for a week, 7 days, because when you have 7 days, you have more days where you can actually track your progress and you'll be more accurate. The reason why I say this is because there could be a day where something has happened. Life takes over. You could be very ill. Someone needs your help. Something has happened that is out of your control. What are you going to do then? Are you going to be 1% better? You can't, right? It's something that's out of your control. So you can't do it in that way when something like that happens. So this is why I would say do it for a week, Monday to Sunday, track your progress and see if you become 1% better than the previous week. That will help you first. Now, how do you track your progress, or how do you see that you're becoming 1% better? It's very simple. First and foremost, you have to ask yourself, what is the goal that you're trying to achieve? This could be your grades, this could be university, this could be a job, this could be a business, whatever that goal is, you have to write that down, okay? So you got your goal, cool. Now from your goal, you need to figure out what steps or tasks do I need to do to achieve that goal. Now this goal is not something that you're going to achieve within a week, 2 weeks. It's going to take 6, 7, 8, 12 months. It's going to be a long-term goal. If you have short-term goals, of course, that could be a lot shorter, 1 month. But if we look at the long-term goals, because things that take time are the ones that reap dividends. So if you look at your long-term goal, you have your goal. Now, what tasks do I need to do to achieve that goal? And these tasks are called, you can look at it as subtasks. Right? And now each of these tasks, then you delegate. You say to yourself, okay, Monday, I'm going to do these tasks. Tuesday, once I've done this task, I'm going to do this. This is how you track your progress. This is how you realize, okay, I'm doing a bit more than what I did the previous week. And now once I finish this task, I move on to the next one. This is how you track it, right? From a practical perspective. So first and most important is you need to have a goal. Don't just do tasks for the sake of doing tasks, because if there's no end goal to that task, you're kind of sailing with no direction. You have to figure out what your goal is. And then from your goal, you need to split that goal into, okay, what kind of tasks do I have to do to get that goal? And then you set yourself a time period. Okay, how long would these tasks take me to do? And then from there, you can track your progress and see, okay, for this week, I did all these tasks. Was it better than the previous week? That's how you measure it. So I hope that makes sense. Now, the second part of your question which was how to cut your distractions. Now, you have to ask yourself, what is distracting you? What is actually distracting you? Is it your phone? Is it social media? Is it your environment? Is it friends? Is it family? Is it TV? Is it Netflix? Write a list of all the distractions that is distracting you mentally. Once you've got your list of your distractions, now you need to see, okay, how do I get rid of these distractions? So say, for example, your phone is a distraction. You're looking at your notification. You're looking at social media. How do I get rid of this distraction? Well, one thing I do, and I still do this, is when I'm working, my phone is not next to me. It's not on my table. My phone is in my bed, on my bed, should I say. So that means that when I'm working at my desk, it's not there, it's nowhere near me. The reason why I do this is because I know if I get a notification, I have 99% of the time, I'll have an inclination of picking up that phone and checking my notification, which most people would do. So before you know it, you're checking your notification and then you're going on to something else and it's already 15, 20 minutes has gone by you because of a notification that's come. So what you can do very easy is take that phone and move it to another room, because you're not going to be bothered to get up from your chair and go to your room to check your phone. So that's one way of doing it, as an example I'm giving to you. And then what you want to do is, okay, sometimes you might need a phone, you might need some calls, you might need to check your messages and email. Okay, so set a period. So for the next 3 hours, I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm going to be working, I'm going to be studying, whatever it is. I'm going to be, working my business, whatever that is. But for that 3 hours, my phone is on airplane mode, right? Once that 3 hours is gone, then you can go to your room or your kitchen, wherever the phone is, and check your notifications for a very certain period of time. So for 15 minutes, for example, just check your notification and see which one is important. So that's one way you can practically cut your distractions. Netflix and your environment. So say, for example, you can't work at home, go to the library, go somewhere else that's going to allow you to think and be able to work in peace. You can cut that off. If it's your friends, you let them know, listen, I need to be working this period of time. Please do not distract me, but I will contact you after. And you give them a time when you can contact them. If they're not willing to understand, then listen, man, like, are they your real friends? Because you need to set work for yourself and you need to work hard on what you're trying to do without any distractions. Your friends can wait. If they're your real friends, they'll understand. So look at it that way, right? Look at the distractions, list down all the distractions and find ways of how can I cut that. And when you do that, you'll be able to work more effectively, more efficiently, and you'll be able to carry on longer because your distractions now has gone to zero. This video is so helpful and eye-opening. Can you go over how to deal with stress and have a relaxed mind when approaching and are in stressful situations, and how to not let things affect you and stay in your mind going forward? This one is something that we go through all the time. Stress is something that you are going to go through every single stages of your life. There is no getting away from stress. Anything that you do in life is going to be stress. Unless you're living in a cushy world and you don't want to go outside your comfort zone, you are going to go through stress. Now, the thing about how you deal with stress and how to have a relaxed mind is you need to first distinguish what is making you stressed. What is making you feeling like, oh my gosh, this is just getting too much. You have to understand what that is. Is it a situation? Is a specific scenario that's happened? Could be relationship, could be family, could be friends. Something has happened that's making you stressed. Is it your environment? Is it something that has happened that is outside of your control that is affecting you? You first need to understand what is the situation that is causing you to be stressed. Forget about relaxed first, because the relaxation will come after. You need to first understand that. Okay, what is it that's making me stressed? Now, the thing that what I've seen anyway from life and people around me and myself as well is we're normally stressed because we think of the worst case scenario that can happen in this situation. And we look at the worst case scenario and we think, oh my gosh, if this can go that way and I'm messed up, or I messed up and I'm gonna fail, or oh my gosh, this has happened and now I don't know what to do. We kind of look at the worst case scenario, and that's what makes us stressed because we're worrying about things that is really outside of our control. So one way you can try and reduce that is, what is the worst case scenario from this situation? Write it down. What could be the worst thing that could happen from this? And if you are okay and comfortable with the worst case scenario, you're not stressed. Your stress level goes down. We overthink about the worst case scenarios, but we don't actually look at it in a way where it's like, hold up, okay, if this is the worst thing that can happen, am I gonna die from this? Am I gonna be, is my life over from this? Like, I mean, physically, is it over? It's not. I'm still gonna live. I'm still sleeping. I still can walk. I still can eat. Okay, so this is not really that stressful if I look at it from a grand perspective. It just means that, okay, the worst case scenario is this, but I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with that. That's fine. Because when you are comfortable with the worst case scenario, your stress level reduces because you've accepted in your mind subconsciously, okay, this is my worst case scenario and I'm okay with that. I accept that. A lot of us don't accept that. We don't look at the worst case scenario. We worry about the worst case scenario. So that's the thing I would say first is, whatever the situation or the person, whatever it is, look at it as, okay, what is the worst case scenario from this? And am I okay with the worst case scenario? Can I keep going forward with my life with the worst case scenario? Most of the time, 99% of the time, you can, but you don't think that way. We don't want to think that way because we think that, oh my gosh, my life is over. So look at it like that. Write it down. Worst case scenario, and underneath there, write down the worst case scenario. If you are okay with that, you're good. Your stress level is reduced. Now, if the stress comes from people around you, you need to cut them off. You need to cut them off, or you need to change your environment. Okay, because obviously that is causing you stress. Now, one thing you can do is go out, like for the weekend, go somewhere else. You see, I'm a hypocrite because I work, right? And I need to take my own advice in this, in that I need to get out sometimes as well from the work that I'm doing, because sometimes it gets too much. But one thing I would say that could potentially help you is that you can get out, go to another country, go to a different place, change your environment. Because when you change your environment, your mind changes. You feel good, you feel relaxed. You don't think about the stresses that you have. It's like it's in a different dimension. You're in a different dimension now. So when you're able to do that, it could be a different environment. It could be riding a bike. It could be going to the gym. It could be going walking. It could be going in nature. It could be going to simply a cafe, a restaurant. It could be going to the cinema. It could be getting a massage. Whatever it is, find something that you like doing that de-stresses you. That's important. Maybe you know some activities that you like doing, that you know when you do that activity, Yeah, I feel amazing. I feel great. Try and list that down. That would help you. List down the activities that, okay, what activities do I do normally that I feel good after? I feel refreshed. I feel like, okay, yeah, this is my peace. That would help. There is a quote from Shakespeare who said, there is nothing good or bad, but thinking it makes it so. You see, every situation that we come across in life and we face, it's not a good or bad situation. It's the way we think about that situation. It's the way we interpret that situation that makes us feel like whether that situation is good or bad. Every situation that you come across, if you think it's a bad situation, your mind is going to go into that bad negative mode. It's going to be, oh my gosh, this is stressful. But if you look at it in a way where it's, you know what, okay, this is what's happened. It's out of my control. I'm going to do this to make sure that I don't go in this direction. Great. You're taking an opportunity to look at the situation, which is a bad situation, but you're turning it into a good situation. It really comes down to the way we interpret the situations. If this situation has come, whether it's a friend's family or something has happened, and we look at it as a bad thing, it's going to be a bad thing. If we look at it like, okay, this has happened, I could not have done anything about this, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to carry on and look at it this way, then you're not going to let it affect you. Your stress level is not going to be that high and you will be more in a relaxed state. Try and look at it that way, maybe in those lenses. Like you have two lenses. You have like the devil and the angel, right? Do you want to look through the devil lenses or do you want to look through the angel lenses? And if you're able to look through the angel lenses, which is the good lens, and look at it as these situations will come and there's going to be many more situations that come, but I'm okay because I'm going to look at this in a positive way and I can try and learn from that, then you listen, you're not going to be as stressed and you will be more in a relaxed state of mind. Video on finding similar-minded people for a startup would be useful. The right people that won't betray you, because I've had multiple friends that did just do that. Tell you, finding similar like-minded people these days is getting harder and harder because everyone's just on social media. No one is really going out and having genuine, authentic, deep conversations like it used to be before. Everyone's just on the internet scrolling. Attention span is like 30 seconds and it's getting harder. So I understand and I feel your pain. One thing you can do that will help you out is look at yourself. What activities, interests do you like doing? And are there clubs and clubs and events that you can go to that will allow you to do that? Because 99% of the time you will see, if you go to these clubs and events that you like, you are going to find other people that also like this. And as you talk with them and you interact, you're like, actually, you're quite similar-minded to me than I thought. But you have to go out there, right? You have to network. You have to go and put yourself out there. Like, I'll give you an example. I think it was 2 years ago, before the COVID anyway, I started playing tennis. And as I was playing tennis, I joined a club. And when I joined the club, I met a lot of people. And even through that conversation, I was talking with a lot of people. But obviously, not everyone I was able to gel. But then I was talking to someone else and we started gelling. We started playing tennis. And to be fair, if he's watching, he'll know. But like our tennis match goes on for 3-4 hours. We'll go hard. We'll go for 5 sets and we'll play. And it became a thing. And then through us playing tennis, we started talking. We started opening up. And we connected and we started realizing, actually, you know what? We're pretty similar in our values and principles. But you see, I would not have been able to meet this friend if I did not go out and, go and play tennis because it's something that I wanted to do. So you have to go out there, go and network. Listen, you are going to get betrayed. Everyone will come into your life for a certain reason, okay? And sometimes they're not going to be there for a long time. They're going to be there for a specific reason, for a specific period of time. That is life. I know it hurts. It's not easy. I've gone through it myself where I've had friends that have come into my life for a certain period of time and then they've gone. And at the beginning, when I looked at it, I was hurt. I was angry and hurt. But then when I realized this in hindsight, I was like, you know what? Some people are just coming into your life for a specific reason and they'll leave. You'll find someone else. It's the circle of life. You just have to keep moving forward. Not everyone is going to be in your life forever. People change. Give it 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, people are not going to be the same. But what you can do and what you have to do is you have to keep moving forward. You can't think of it like, okay, people are going to be in this kind of bitter mind state. It's difficult, I understand. And it's even for me, I get into those mindset where I am bitter when these things happen. But then I have to try and rise above it. As hard as it is, I have to rise above it and say, you know what? There are people out there that will be on the same wavelength. I just got to find them. And it's going to take time, but I have to have faith and keep moving forward. For me to do that, I need to look at things that I like doing, interests, activities, hobbies. And then from there, I'll go to these events or these clubs and I'm sure I will find someone. So I hope that makes sense and I hope you can take some value from that. I understand it's not easy when you get betrayed from your friends, but think of it this way. People will come into your life for specific reasons and for a specific period of time. Don't expect them to be there for the rest of your life. It's very naive and you will set yourself up for getting hurt in the long term. So look at it as, okay, in this period of time, I'm going to try and enjoy as much as I can with them, but I know that they might not be here for the long time, and that's okay. I just need to keep moving forward. If I'm trying to bulk, if I don't track my calories or macros, would this make the bulking effective? I try to eat until I feel full, and I try my best to avoid unhealthy food like McDonald's or sugary drinks. Once again, thanks for the value giving in these videos. The way you're doing it right now, I would not recommend to do it, and it's not the right way to go about it. You want to track how much calories you're putting in. When I started doing this, like working out and bulking as well, I was tracking everything. Now I don't track it as much because in my head, I've been doing it for so long. I pretty much know, okay, this got this amount of carbs, this amount of fat, this amount of protein. I have a rough estimate from all of those tracking that I used to do. So now when I look at a certain food, I can know in my mind, okay, this has a certain amount of these nutrients. What you want to do, because you are a beginner, it sounds like you want to track everything. And there's a good app for this, I think, called MyFitnessPal. You can track that because it's got a scanner where you can scan the code, the barcode, and it will tell you how much protein and everything, and it will keep a tally of how much you have for the day. Track your macros. It's very important, and it helps you to stay disciplined. I'll put a picture of myself when I was bulking, and you can see here, somewhere here. But in that picture, what I was doing is I was bulking, but I was still doing cardio because I still wanted to stay lean. So I wasn't like over bulking, if that makes sense. I was bulking, putting more calories, but still staying lean from doing cardio. So my goals was different from that perspective. But if you are going to bulk, don't be doing it this way until your stomach is full. It's the wrong way of bulking, and it's just not right. Track everything, because when you're tracking, then you know, okay, when you want to cut, how much you need to cut your calories by. See, if you're bulking without tracking, how do you know how much you have to cut? You don't, right? You don't have like a set number. So you want to track, okay, if I'm going to bulk, I need to have, I don't know, 2,500 calories or 3,000 calories per day. Fine. But when I want to cut, I need to reduce that by 500 calories. That gives you a better, accurate way of recording when you're bulking and when you want to cut as well. So that's what I would tell you to do. In your next video, could you please tell me how to stop procrastinating and not leave everything last minute? Not just, but I keep postponing everything, such as studies or housework. I keep saying I will do it later or tomorrow, but then I never do that task. Procrastination. This is something as humans we all do, and a lot of us don't know how to move forward. We're just stuck in this procrastination mode. There's a 3-worded answer that I'm going to give you in how to stop procrastination. Do you want to hear it? Here it goes. Just do it. That's it. You just got to start. You got to do it. The starting is the hard bit. I guarantee you, and I know that because I've been in that situation myself in everything I do. Like, the starting is hard. Like, for example, you want to study or you need to wake up. You know in your mind, oh my gosh, I can't be bothered. I feel lazy. I'll just put it to the next day. That's hard. But once you start, it becomes easier. Let me give you an analogy that's going to help you. Think of a ship, a big ship. What is the most difficult part of the ship in its journey? It's the starting point. Do you know why? Because when the ship is starting, it needs a lot of force to push, to start, to get the motors running, to start moving. That's the hardest bit. Even an aeroplane, if you think about it, the hardest bit of an aeroplane is to take off, because that's where a lot of, the force is needed to get the airplane up. But once the ship has started to move, have you not noticed? It just flows. It just goes so easily. It glides. Same thing as the aeroplane. Once the aeroplane starts taking off and it's took off and it's in the sky, it just flows in the air. It just goes. Obviously, it doesn't flow, but it's just an easy traveling. It's easy for it to just move. Everything in life, starting is the hard bit. So when something is hard, we just put it to the side. We think, oh, we're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to do it last minute because it's hard in our mind. But if you just get over that friction of, okay, you know what? I'm going to start. I guarantee you it's going to be easier. Because I remember, man, when I was starting to study or revise and everything, I just couldn't be bothered because I just couldn't get myself to start revising. But I realized, okay, once I'm started, then it's easy. Then I can go on for hours. Because the starting bit was the hard bit, but I've overcome the hard bit and now it's just easy. If you want to stop procrastinating, just do it. Get started. You need momentum. How do you build momentum? You only build momentum once you start. If you're in your mind and thinking all the time about, okay, I need to do it, but you don't get to do it, you're never going to do it. And this is the problem with a lot of people. They procrastinate in their mind. They still think, okay, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do this the next day. Or I'm going to do this after. As you keep thinking, you just never end up doing it. All you're doing is just thinking. You're wasting time and energy. As opposed to doing that, stop your thinking, sit down, get on with it. That's it. Don't worry about it. For the first 15, 20 minutes, it's going to be hard. After that, you'll be sitting down in your chair. and you won't move because you've overcome the hard bit, the starting point. You've overcome it. That's what I would say for you. So just remind yourself of this. Think of the aeroplane and think of the ship. Their journey at the beginning is difficult, the starting. But once they start, they're gliding. It just flows. So if you can do that as well, you will flow as well. And your procrastination goes down. Hey, how are you? I really love the series video that you are doing. I have a question. How do I write a novel when I'm not inspired and can't think of anything, even though I'm passionate about writing one? This is an interesting question because you're now combining inspiration with passion. And you can be passionate about something, but sometimes you might not have inspiration, which is what it sounds like to you. And what I would say with that is this. I'm not really an expert in novels and all of this, but I'm a very principled guy. So the principles that I do in my life and other things will also apply to things like this because they're all the same. Sometimes you're not going to be inspired. There's going to be times where you just don't have the motivation, the inspiration for you to do something. And that's fine. That's normal. You're a human being. But one thing that will help you with improving that inspiration or try and get your mind into that mode is start writing. You don't have to wait for inspiration to come. Inspiration will come when you do something. If you keep waiting for inspiration, you're going to keep waiting for that inspiration to come. You're never going to get anything done. Why don't you start? It doesn't have to be your best work. You just start writing. And as you start writing, your mind is going to be subconsciously going into that dimension now. And you're going to have ideas coming in. And oh shoot, this idea. Oh wow, okay, I need to write it down. And before you know it, your thoughts are coming at you 100 miles an hour where you can't keep up basically. You can't keep up with your thoughts because now all these ideas are coming. So that I think would help you a lot because we always wait for this motivation to come or this inspiration to come. That shit ain't gonna come, man. That shit ain't gonna come. Don't wait for that. You gotta basically play the devil's advocate and say, you know what? I'm not gonna wait for you. I'm gonna do it. And then that will come. And if it doesn't come, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Because at least you can look back and say, you know what? At least I brought something. Maybe it just came to my head is why don't you set something like a task or like a goal where you say, okay, I want to write 1 page or a certain number of words per day. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about inspiration. Just say, okay, I'm going to write maybe, I don't know, 1 page. I don't know how it works in the novels world, but maybe write 1,000 words or something, whatever it is per day. Don't worry about inspiration. Don't worry about anything else. You just say, okay, my task is I'm going to write this amount today and I'm going to write this amount tomorrow. That's it. And I guarantee you, as you do this every day, those ideas and inspiration is going to come. Because sometimes, look, you got to look at it this way. For your mind to be in that kind of mindset, in the novel mindset, for example, in this kind of writing mindset, you have to put your mind in that. Does that make sense? Your mind has to go there, but you're waiting for something to come to you so then you can go there. It don't work that way. Why don't you put your mind in there by doing it and then those things will come to you? That's normally how it works. So I'm looking at it from a principle perspective where, okay, sometimes even with my maths, for example, when I'm doing maths, when I want to think of questions, I have to write the questions for the questions to come. I don't wait for the questions to come to me. Because when I teach maths, basically, I don't use books. I make up the questions from my head. I literally write the questions. I find the answer and then from the answer, I get the questions. That's how my mind works. But I don't wait for that. I go and do it regardless of whether it comes or not. Try that and I guarantee you those inspiration and everything else will come. But again, you just got to put yourself in that environment and just start. And as you're doing it, you'll see. Things will come. So I hope you can take value from these videos. If you have questions, just put it down in the comments. And again, if these videos are helping you out, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it because it means I know this is working for you. And remember, everything starts from zero. When are you going to start? Peace.